Welcome back to the deep dive. We know you want the key insights fast, so we cut through the noise. Today we're tackling something huge, AI in the enterprise. Everyone sees it as the past to future value, but talk to the folks holding the purse strings. AI is also becoming this massive source of sticker shock. And I don't just mean the upfront software cost. No, it's that moment, the CIO realizes scaling that successful AI pilot. From one team to the whole company, the cost is just astronomical compared to the budget. Our sources, they call this a lack of visibility into the total lifecycle cost. It's a real blind spot.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, or maybe frustrating, is the basic misunderstanding at play here. Companies, they just instinctively treat AI like normal software. You buy it, install it, maybe get it as SaaS, and then, you depreciate it. Simple. But that's not AI. The whole point of this deep dive is to shift that thinking. AI is what we're calling a living capability. It learns, it changes, it needs constant tending, which means the costs, they're not fixed, not predictable in the old way.
Right. So why does it get so expensive then? What's driving these costs? The core thing we pulled from all the research is pretty powerful, actually. AI costs so much because it basically forces you to modernize your entire setup. I mean, everything. Your data, your IT systems, your people skills, even how you govern things. And the funny part, the actual AI model, the algorithm, that's usually the cheapest bit.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's follow the money layer by layer. We've identified 5 key cost layers that are probably eating your AI budget right now, maybe without you realizing it. Let's start with the biggest one, the one that often causes the most surprise.
Absolutely. We have to start with the foundation. Data operations. The old saying, G.I. Joe, garbage in, garbage out. It's never been more true than with AI. All that internal data your company has, emails, policies, SOPs, customer stuff, that's the fuel for the AI. But here's the catch. While that data defines your business, its quality, its consistency, how useful it actually is for training an AI, that varies a lot. And this is where the grunt work happens, isn't it? The unglamorous part. We're calling it the invisible bulk of the whole effort. It's collecting the data, cleaning it up, which is often a huge job, then labeling it so the AI can understand it, and critically, securing it properly. Because if your data is a mess to begin with, the AI won't fix it. No magic there. It'll just amplify the mess, giving you wrong answers, but very confidently.
Exactly. And here's the number that usually makes people sit up. You really need to grasp this. It underscores why a solid data strategy is job number 1. In most big companies, this data operations phase, collecting, cleaning, labeling, it eats up 30 to 50% of the total AI project spend.
Wait, hang on, 30 to 50%. That's huge. I mean, I thought the whole point of these new AI tools was meant to be automating some of that data prep stuff. If half the budget goes on just getting the data ready manually, how is this really speeding things up?
Well, it forces you to confront the data issues you already had, right? Think of it like deferred maintenance. If your data house wasn't in order, making it AI ready is the transformation cost. You're essentially paying off years of maybe neglecting your data strategy before the AI even gets switched on. It really puts the cost of the algorithm itself in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Wow. Okay. So assuming you survive the data challenge, what's next?
Yeah.
Let's talk physical horsepower. Layers 2 and 3. So layer 2 is infrastructure, basically compute power. The cloud makes it easy to get, sure, but AI is hungry. It needs a lot of processing power, especially at scale.
And this is what we call the compute trap. It's easy to fall into when you're just playing around, experimenting. Costs are tiny, negligible, but the moment you scale up, go from a few test users to, say, real enterprise production, where that AI is making thousands, maybe millions of decisions or predictions, you're leaning hard on those pay-as-you-go cloud models and that little pilot project you forgot to turn off, or that slightly misconfigured instance. It can suddenly rocket from a few $100 a month to tens of thousands. It grows exponentially when you move from tinkering to real-world deployment.
Ouch. Okay. And then there's layer 3, which is just as vital. Development and integration. Look, building a proof of concept to Pro C. Anyone can brag about that. That's the demo stage, the easy bit. The real headache, and honestly where a ton of hidden cost lies, is actually plumbing that shiny new AI model into your existing business processes, making sure it works with your security setup. And connecting it to those slightly ancient 15-year-old internal systems that actually run the core business. AI is almost never a standalone thing, is it?
Never. And that leads us nicely into the next layer, something senior leaders often, underestimate. Layer 4. Regulatory and governance hurdles. This is especially painful if you're in a regulated industry. Think finance, healthcare, insurance. Here, the main complexity isn't even technical sometimes. It's regulatory.
Right. You can't just unleash an AI model like a black box and hope it passes an audit, can you? The second that AI starts influencing real decisions like who gets a loan or maybe a medical treatment path, your organization suddenly needs very specific guardrails. You need tight governance, and you need ways to track exactly what it's doing and why.
Exactly. And let's be clear. This governance layer, it's mandatory, not optional, and none of it is free. We're talking about real costs for essential tools and processes. Things like running bias audits, making sure the AI isn't unfairly discriminating. Explainability tools, proving how the AI reached a specific decision. That's crucial for auditors. You absolutely need data lineage documentation. Think of it as the full paper trail for the data the AI used. And you need telemetry, basically, real-time monitoring of how the model is behaving out in the wild.
Those last 2 points, data lineage and telemetry, they sound like major efforts. Often overlooked, I bet, because they're not purely technical development. But the auditors need to see that lineage, that proof.
Precisely. Governance isn't just red tape. It's what stops your shiny AI investment from becoming a huge compliance nightmare down the road. It keeps it on the rails.
Okay, that brings us to layer 5. And you flagged this one as maybe the sneakiest cost, maintenance and life cycle. This is the recurring cost, the one that isn't static, the one that often blows up the budget months or years after launch. You said earlier, AI is a living system, like owning a very complex self-driving car that needs constant checkups and supervision.
That's a great analogy. And the silent killer here, the thing that drives those recurring costs, is model drift. It sounds technical, but it's simple, really. The AI model you trained that worked perfectly 6 months ago, it will slowly, silently start getting worse. Why? Because the world changes. Customer behavior shifts. Market conditions evolve. Maybe your own internal processes change. The data it sees in the real world starts to look different from the data it was trained on. So model drift means it's making less accurate, less useful decisions over time. And fixing that requires ongoing effort. Retraining the model, revalidating it, and yes, human oversight.
And crucially, the model isn't going to, send you an email saying, hey, I'm drifting, time for a tune-up. It just silently degrades, right? Potentially making worse and worse decisions, eroding business value without anyone noticing immediately. So this retraining and supervision, that's pure operational expense. It's not a one-off cost. Which brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? That CIO's budget surprise, it feels like it stems from a fundamental procurement miscalculation. When the purchasing team goes out and asks vendors for an AI solution price, what they usually get back almost always is a development estimate. Just the cost to build the thing initially. They don't get the true lifecycle cost for running it, maintaining it, keeping it accurate for, say, 3 years.
It's exactly like buying a car, but maybe even worse for the budget. You spend ages negotiating a fantastic sticker price on the car itself, that's your fancy algorithm, but you totally forget to budget for the ongoing costs. The fuel, the insurance, the MOT, the specialized expensive servicing it needs every single year. Companies launch their AI pilot and then suddenly realize, oh wait, the budget didn't include the ongoing cloud storage, the cost of retraining every 6 months, the annual compliance checks and audits, and the finance team is left scrambling to find the money.
So pulling all these 5 layers together, data, compute, integration, governance, and maintenance, the big picture conclusion seems clear. AI isn't just a product you buy off the shelf. It's not static. It's really a dynamic, living ecosystem. Models, data, infrastructure, people all linked, all needing attention. And getting good results isn't just about being enthusiastic about AI. It really depends on having mature data practices and solid governance before you even start.
That maturity isn't free. It comes with a price tag, which is what we've been discussing.
Okay, so let's make this actionable. If you're a senior IT leader listening to this, feeling maybe a bit nervous, how do you protect your budget? How do you protect your credibility, frankly? The sources gave 3 really concrete steps. First, plan for lifecycle costs. From day one, you have to treat AI like an operating expense, not just a capital one. Model out the run rate costs for at least 2 or 3 years. Don't just budget for the build.
Second action, demand cost transparency. Be tough with your vendors. Ask them for itemized cost breakdowns. You need to see the numbers. How much for data prep specifically? How much for compute, integration, governance tools, ongoing maintenance? If a vendor sort of waffles or can't break those down clearly, that's a red flag. It might mean they don't fully grasp the true operational costs either, which puts you at risk.
Good point. And the third action, link your spend to business capability, not just model output. Don't get fixated on budgeting for like a 98% accuracy score from the model. Budget for the outcome you want. What business problem are you solving? Are you aiming for a 15% gain in process efficiency? A 20% cut in risk exposure? Making decisions 50% faster. Budget for the why, not just the what.
And if you take that step back, and ask that original question, why does AI cost so much? The real answer starts to crystallize. When you sign that AI deal, you're not just buying software, not really. You're essentially buying enterprise transformation because AI forces you to upgrade everything it touches. Your data handling, your infrastructure, your governance, your people skills. And let's be honest, real transformation. That has never, ever been cheap.
That really is the core lesson here, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've walked through the 5 big cost layers: data ops, compute, integration, governance, and that sneaky maintenance. And the central idea is that AI demands maturity because it's this dynamic, living thing, an ecosystem.
Exactly. And success isn't about finding the cheapest option up front. It's about finding what lasts. Which leads to this final thought we pulled from the material. The smartest AI investment isn't the one that's cheapest. It's the one that stays sustainable.
Sustainable. Yeah, that's definitely the word your finance team wants to hear. So, as you wrap up listening and head back to your day, here's something to chew on, a provocative thought for you. Think about some existing non-AI corporate system or tool you rely on right now. Maybe it's that ancient financial planning thing built on spreadsheets, or that old business intelligence dashboard everyone uses but nobody loves. What are the hidden recurring maintenance costs, the governance headaches, already baked into that old system? The ones that feel conceptually just like model drift, constantly needing tweaks, updates, checks. Because maybe, just maybe, AI isn't creating entirely new problems. Maybe it's just making the existing organizational maturity gaps, especially around data and process, suddenly very visible. And finally, very expensive to ignore.